Hey, Kat Chancellor here with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I just wanted to check in with my YouTube group because I wanted to show a really quick project that I've been working on, and I am prepping a box full of cards for nurses and for children as part of my Make a Card, Give a Smile project that I support on my Stamp Art Connection blog. Here is the box. Right here is the box that is full, and you can just see it is just full of nothing but cards. And here is the here's the information. You can go on my blog and find the information. Give a Smile, one card at a time. And I send this to kids that may be hospitalized, and as kind of a neat, just a card to brighten their days. Well, one of the coordinators with the program at the University of New Mexico Hospital said that they could also use bookmarks for some of the older kids. So I'm making a bunch of bookmarks here. I started out making these bookmarks using some of my my embellishments from the Beehive group that was in the I guess it was in Celebrations. But I decided I had a lot of scraps, so I'm making these purely out of scraps. I have a daisy card. I'm using some of my scraps from the Whale Done, since I've done a number of cards using this product. The tulips. Here's a nice little card that are a little bookmark that I'm using some DSP, just a piece of DSP to make a nice cute little bookmark, and then again the daisy card. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make these. They're very quick, and what I do is I pull in all kinds of stuff that I've saved from other card projects. You remember, here's cars, and I've got more tulips, and I've got umbrellas, and I have hydrangeas. I have this little box here where I have some really pretty butterflies, and I even have some of these wooden pieces here that I could add. And then over here I have some of my animals that I did using my Perfect Pets stamp set. So I have some little kittens here, and I also have some just some extra sentiments. So this is just scraps. That's all this is. This is nothing but just stuff that I have, you know, extra stuff that I kind of put aside that I'd like to I don't want to throw away because I might use it. Well, here's a great idea for how to use all those little pieces and parts and put a smile on someone's face. I also have punches here, like my mini daisy punch. I love my little corner punches because with my corner punches, I'm able to kind of do some fancy things here to kind of dress up my cards. As you can see, I've used some of my corner punches here. I can use some of my corner punches. Some of these are retired. There's this corner punch. There's this corner punch. I have my daisy punch. I have a heart punch. And of course, I have my wonderful Whale Done punch. And you can't go without a little 1/2-inch punch, because this is what's going to cut out the inside of my daisy, and then a little flower punch. So these are the things I just have set aside that I can kind of grab. And I have my mini cutting board. So I'm just going to put all my embellishments aside. These are some of my scraps that I'm going to kind of refer to. But basically what you're going to start with is you're going to start with a piece of cardstock, and so I'm just going to cut a piece of cardstock here. It has to be 4 by 4. So let's see if this is okay. So that's 4. So that's a perfect 4 by 4. And that is the beginning of our of our piece, and I'm going to grab my scoreboard because I am going to score at 2 inches because this is 4 by 4. I'm just going to score on 3 sides. So I want to use my little scoring piece, not my cutting piece, and I'm just going to do a little click there. I'm going to go here at 2 inches, and I'm going to hit that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit 2 inches there. Okay, what this does is it gives us the marks that we need, because what we're going to do now is we're going to create our triangle, and I'm just going to line up this indentation with this indentation here and go ahead and score straight across. And then I'm going to mark up that indentation with this indentation on the side. I'm going to line them up in the gutter right here. I'm going to score straight across. So now I have a perfect fold, and perfect enough, okay? So it may not be the most perfect, but for the purposes of our little bookmarks, you know, it's perfect enough. And if you really want to work it, and being the compulsive obsessive person that I am, I probably will, I'll just make sure that this kind of comes up and meets nicely at a square. Now, what you want to do is you want to embellish this side. Now, I have some little triangles that I've already cut out, so I'm going to kind of use these as a guide. But what I like to do is I just like to go ahead and put a piece of DSP right here on the front, and I don't need to show you, but I have a whole stack of DSP over here on the side. And look at this. I've got this DSP here. So I think I'm going to maybe take, I like this lemon lime. This fits nicely. I want to kind of keep this as my guide. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down here. And I'm going to take a score tool, and I'm just going to kind of score this so that I get that that score mark, and then I can cut it. Now I can cut it with the machine, or I can just go ahead and hand cut it, because we're just, you know, we're making bookmarks, and this isn't really precision work. It's just fast work so we can put together some bookmarks for some of our young friends. So I'm going to put this across here, and I'm going to take some of these flowers, and I think I want to embellish them, and I have my little flower cutter here, and I'm just going to go ahead, and then this is old paper. This is retired paper from celebrations. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a couple of flowers here so I can put them on my card. And I may have to cut this a little bit so I can, you know, make sure I can get to my flowers. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I have these little flowers cut right here. Now I do want to use, this was my pattern piece. I do want to use this. I think, you know, I just kind of want to mix up some crazy colors, something that's kind of bright and cheerful. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one right here. And I need tear tape to do that, because they're going to be using this as bookmarks. You're going to be pulling it on or pulling it off their book. They have a lending library there at the hospital for some of the children, and most of these are seriously ill, but they're usually returning patients that have had conditions or situations. They may be waiting for organ transplants, and they often have complications that put them in the hospital for a while, and they clear up their complication and then they're off. As I said, I do have a very good friend who happens to work at this particular hospital, and you know, they're special kids. And it was just something that when we were talking about this project, since I do support, you know, I ask the people who are on my team to support it. You know, cards for children, as well as, you know, hey, what other ideas do you have? So she made this recommendation. She said, you know, bookmarks would be cool because they do have a lending library and the kids like to get, you know, a bookmark. So there you go. Here's a nice little bookmark. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use my little scoring machine, and this is actually, I think it's a nail tool, but I kind of use it for my scoring, and also for when I'm making flowers like this, because it's got a nice great big ball here at the end. And I'm just going to kind of, even though this one's kind of cut right there, I think I might layer it. So I have, and if I don't have, I can just grab over here. I'm going to grab some green because I have a whole stack of green. Here's some green. And if I don't like that color green, I can pull in, here's my big box. These are all my scraps. So here's a nice color green. I can pull in this color, and I can use the leaf that's on my tulip here, and I can just go ahead and cut a couple of leaves to go on my card. So I can go ahead and put these kind of like this. Okay, and then I can add my flowers right here in the middle. So it's just very simple work, nothing very fancy. I'm going to go ahead, and I like to use glue dots because I do want something that, or not glue dots rather, but the my foam pieces, because I do want something that is going to stick well. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just kind of folding these in here, and I'm going to put these right there. Okay, so there I have 3 little leaves, and now I'm going to put my flowers. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to grab some dimensionals, and I've got these different flowers, and I'm getting towards the end of my dimensional. I just go ahead and I snip this, and I just pull off these pieces here, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put, kind of move those up. I'm going to have this one right here, and then I'm going to grab this one that has the cut end right here, and I'm just going to tuck that cut petal right underneath there, so it doesn't look like anything has really happened. And there you go. I have just done a little very fast and easy bookmark, and now I'm going to decorate it, and I'm going to embellish it with these corners. And there it is. And you don't even, I mean, if you want to put a sentiment on it, you can. If you don't have to, but I could even add a little bit more, let's see, what do I have in here that I could add to it? I think I might want to add a gold. I love these gold. Gilded gems right here. And I'll just put that one right there. And look at that. That just does everything for that card, or rather for that for the little bookmark for a sweet little girl. And there you go. So that one's done. This one I use the daisy, and let's go ahead and make this one so I can show you how I put that one together. So there's one. Now let's go ahead and grab another piece of cardstock. So here I'm just grabbing out of my box. So I'm going to do this one 4 by 4. Okay, and you remember what we're going to do is we're going to score 2 on each side, on 3 of the sides. So we're going to go over here, I'm going to bring it up to the 2-inch here, bring it there, close this. I want to get my cutter out of the way, and we're going to score. I'm going to move it around. I'm going to do 2 inches. I'm going to score. I'm going to move it around at 2 inches, and I'm going to score. Okay, so now I have my 3 score lines. You can see I have the 3 score lines right there. Okay, hopefully you can see them. So now I'm going to line them up. I'm going to put the line right here in the gutter. Just want to show you. Put this line in the gutter here, and then this line here in the gutter. And I'm calling this the gutter. Okay, my cutting gutter. And then I'm going to close it, and I'm just going to score across, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Line that one and that one together, and score across. And we'll just put this aside, and now I have this piece, and look, that is just, I mean, how much more perfect can you get that? Now let's see what kind of DSP I want to add on this piece. So let me go over here and look at my little stack of DSP. I actually have a piece that's already cut out. I have this piece here. Now that would be absolutely perfect to put on there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take my mic off. Okay, because I'm doing this live, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to score this like this, and I'm going to grab a piece of tear tape right here, and we're going to put this across, and I'm going to put 2 layers of tear tape here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one up here. Again, I'm using tear tape because I really want it to hold on well, right? Because this is a bookmark, little fingers. It's not meant to last forever. It's just meant to give some joy. And I'm going to put this one right, well, what I'm going to do is, and I'm working on the fly. This is what I've been doing this afternoon while I've been making these bookmarks, is just kind of coming up with some ideas. I'm going to put a piece of lace right there because I'm going to put a flower on it. So I want to add just a little bit of lace. I'm just going to trim that right there. Okay, now I'm going to add, now there's a couple things you can do. I like to caution on, you know, just make sure everything kind of stays in place. So I'm going to add another piece of tear tape, mostly because I love tear tape. I'm going to add another piece of tear tape right here on the top. And then I'm going to take this off. And again, this is old. I'm making everything out of scraps. There's no new cutting of paper. So I'm going to put that right there. And look at that. So that has a nice little piece of lace there on the side. Now we're going to cut, and I'm looking at I want to cut another little daisy like this. Now what I did is I can use this piece here, and I'm going to use my daisy punch, but I'm going to take my tulip punch, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to punch a couple of leaves from my tulip punch right there. So I have a couple of leaves from my tulip punch. And then I want to grab some yellow. So I have some very pretty yellow here. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch 1, 2, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to make a lot of layers. Two are enough. Here's my little big circle. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to roll that one up, and then I'm going to roll that one up. Okay, and I'm going to use my dimensionals because my dimensionals I know are going to stick well. And let me go ahead and make sure I have some pieces here for my dimensionals because I use all my product. Nothing goes to waste. You can use everything. And I'm just going to take this little piece here. And I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to add these two and layer it right there so that they're kind of in between each other like that. So there's my flower. Now I am using this really neat glimmer paper that it comes in the new catalog. Now on the back I put an adhesive sheet on the back, so all I have to do is peel the adhesive sheet to adhere any of this. But I'm not going to and I'm going to need that adhesive sheet because I'm going to grab my little, and I had my little punch. Oh, here it is. This is my 1/2-inch punch. And I'm going over here to this bright green color right there. And I'm just going to grab that, and I'm doing it as close as I can because, you know, I don't want to waste a lot of paper, but it just will give a nice little gleam. Now I'm going to peel off that back. And let me grab that paper. Yeah. Okay. And I've got only part of it's kind of gluey, so I'm just going to make sure by just adding a glue dot on the other side of this dot to make sure that it sticks, and I'm just going to put it right there. And isn't that pretty? Look at that. That is just gorgeous, and that is going to be my little daisy. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some snail. Where the heck is my snail? Just grab some snail. I'm just gonna put a piece of snail here and a piece of snail there. Okay. And then I'm going to put my daisy right there, and I'm going to use a nice big dimensional so that I seal it down on top of both my ends of my leaves. And pick that up, and then I'm going to put my daisy right there. So there you go. There's another cute little card. I've made 2 cards right here. Let me go ahead and decorate the end. I'm going to grab this punch. We're going to use this punch, corner punch. This is retired. What I love about this one is that you can punch that one, then you can turn it around over here, and you can edge your corner nicely. Isn't that pretty? So there you go. Now I have 2. So I hope that you've enjoyed letting me show you how to make some really cute bookmarks. These are destined for the children at the UNM Children's Hospital for their book lending program, to give them bookmarks when they get their books. And I've made some masculine ones, and I'm making some feminine ones, and I just wanted to show you how easy that can be done. Bring some joy in someone's life. If you've got some cards or you want to make some bookmarks, please go to my blog at stampartconnection.com and look at the make a card, give a smile, or give a smile 1 card at a time, and put some joy in a child's life. God bless you. Keep stamping and stay well.